Welcome, welcome.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Welcome. 75. Hey guys, welcome to Tea Talk. I'm T.
And I'm Top, and the tea for today is
One
one foot
foot
in.
in, one foot out. So let's get into it. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. All right. So, one foot in, one foot out. Talk will explain what one foot in, one foot out means.
Okay, hi again, guys. So the topic: one foot in and one foot out. Well, you might not understand that, but let I'll try to explain best as I can. Alright. So as young believers, we are enticed by the world and what it has to offer. It's only natural. The world seems to sparkle more when you're trying to serve the Almighty. We tend to lust after the things of the world. We all know about the Savior, right? And we want to please Him so we can be blessed and make it into the kingdom. But it seems so hard to let the things of the world go. It feels like a constant battle between the good guy on your shoulder versus the bad guy on your shoulder. We tend to feel lost and not know what decision to make. That, my friend, is when you know you have one foot in church and the other in the world.
Thanks for that explanation. And I completely agree 100% with you. Well, I mean, I say completely, so that kind of taking that kind of taking to play the 100%. But yeah, I agree with you 100%. Sometimes we as young persons, we tend to have that experience that battle where it's like we want to come to him, especially before you even decide that you want to get baptized, or you just you want to surrender your whole life to him. During that little transition phase, we sometimes tend to struggle with wanting to serve him, but at the same time you want to have the pleasures of the world, because we have to remember that every institution have rules. And so for us, our rules are different. Every church rule, their standards, everybody, they're different, right? And so for me, I can say that for me it was battling with what you have to give up, you know in order to conform to the rules that they have set in place, as well as knowing that you're taking on this new life. And boy, say for serve father, it's a complete life change. Whatever anybody want to tell you, serving the heavenly father, is you have to do a complete life change, because you have to become a new creation. And that means a lot of adjusting, and a lot of things that you used to do, you can't do them no more. So when I think of one foot in, it's like the thought comes to me that it's like you love him, you want to serve him, but not enough to let go of the things that are out there in the world. So, like, what are some of the factors that you think come into play, to allow you to have one foot in and one foot out? Like, what was,
Well,
huh?
well, some factors. Um, some may apply to the listeners, some may not, because we don't all have the same rules to follow. So, to some persons, maybe the dressing may be a factor that is keeping them out or keeping their foot in the world. It could be, it could be the guys. because some churches don't they don't tolerate the what should I say mating, the grouping,
Dating, girl.
unless they are dating, unless they're married. Other things, you have other factors like the parties. Yeah, Christians. Yeah, you don't expect to see Christians at the parties. They don't want to miss out on the parties. It could be their friends. They're ashamed because they don't want their friends to laugh at them. You know how the world is turning now. The world is turning, and I don't remember where in the Bible, but I'm pretty sure it said that homosexuality is an abomination, right? And there are many persons that believe in the Almighty, they want to serve Him, but they have that problem. We're not here to judge anyone, but they have that problem. So that's kind of keeping them out in the world.
Before you decided, all right, that I was going to fully surrender, right? What were some of the things that kind of had a grip on you out there before you decided to, give your life over fully?
Well, for me, all right. So the assembly that I am a part of, we don't condone certain dressing. So we don't wear pants, shorts, sleeveless shirts, crop tops, jewelry, hair extensions, etc. So that was a big factor. That was, keeping me out, keeping that foot in the world. I had to pray long and hard out my mind. It seemed as if I was fighting a mental battle. I could not make up my mind because I was saying, oh, I only have I only have two options: either wearing a dress or a skirt and blouse. The other thing that kept my foot in the world was the fact that my assembly did not believe in dating, young persons dating, right? So they believe in marriage, that persons should be married before they get intimately involved. So that was another factor that kept me out. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, and you touched on some factors that were the same for me because we go to the same assembly for the listeners, and even for me, as you said, not being able to wear like pants, because I used to wear pants before I got baptized, and I loved wearing pants. It's just something I just enjoyed wearing. I love dresses, yes, so it wasn't really a big thing for me to make the transition to wear dress all the time, but I wasn't really much of a skirt wearer. So the pants, and I don't know, I just had a thing for the pants them, and I never want to stop wear them basically, right? So that was a factor for me, as well as even relationship wise. At the time when I was going to get baptized, I was in a relationship, and knowing that, boy, you have to go probably give that up, because you're gonna make the transition now, and they're always telling you, oh, it's, you have to get rid of the distractions them and things like that, and just not always seeing eye to eye with some of the things them at the time, because even the last point that you touched, even with the dating, that was like a factor for me, because I was always concerned about my future, even though it's not in my hands, but for a very long while I was very concerned about that, but that is for a different discussion. And another thing that held me back was just making up your mind, because at the time I was like, what, 19, and I made up my mind at that time that I was going to experience the world, right? Maybe I got experience the world, get as much as I possibly could before, as myself would have hold on myself to one thing. It's just like when people we say, oh, them have to go through different relationships before them can tie down themselves to one woman or one man. Yeah, that was how my mind is stay towards the whole baptism thing. Those were some of the factors for me personally. But yeah, continue. Yeah, man, you can talk.
Alright, so for those listeners out there that have one foot in and one foot out, how can you encourage them? What encouragement do you have for them to make the transition easier?
Alright, to make the transition easier, I think it's like think about maybe somebody that you actually love out there in the world, and how you'd want them to feel, knowing that, boy, this person completely loves me, this person, will like, is for me 100%. Them, that's them ride or die, them have my back, things like that. And think about how much more important it would be to have that same energy towards Elohim, in showing him that, I am willing to give up the world, give up my possessions, give up the things that, I have grown attachment towards. I'm willing to give that up for you, because your only son. Remember, sometimes even that can help too, when you think of knowing that, all right, he sent his only begotten son to die on a cross for me. So, what is our relationship? What is a house? What is a car? What is clothes? Compared to the eternal promise that he has for a life spent with him. So for me, that was a mentality that I had to get into to really make the transition, to say, look, these things not go worth nothing at the end of the day if I still don't have Elohim. So what are they to hold me back? Especially since he says that everything in the world belongs to him. We repeat that scripture, regularly. The earth is Elohim's and the fullness thereof. So if everything in the earth belongs to him, if I give it up, really, I'm giving it back to him. And, he will return it to you when the time is right. You just have to fully surrender your heart, show him that you can trust him. And that's what made the transition a little easier for me, knowing that, if me love a person, would I want them for have my all, and so giving him my all was the best way to show him that I loved him back. What about you?
You see, once you finally decide to give over your life to the Almighty, fully notice that you have this glow. You look so attractive.
True that.
Maybe even attractive than persons with makeup, false hair, the jewelry, and everything. You have, it's like a halo, like you're shining. If it makes you feel any better, there are advantages. You might not get what you want right away, but your blessing will surely be coming. You know that once you have the faith and say you made up your mind and say, you know what, I'm going to serve the Almighty. He is going to bless you more than what you are going to get blessings more than what you would have gotten if you were still out in the world. He is going to fix you up.
Def.
Yeah.
Girl, sorry for cut you, but you know, a true thing you talk because you see, boy, I wasn't a looker, you know. Wasn't a looker. But may I tell you, Elohim, him fix me. Him, him
Him
fix
fix
me.
me.
Yes, he did.
But it's not. Persons may stand outside and look at it on the internet and say, oh boy, that their life is so boring, so gloomy. But trust me, it's nothing like that. It's the happiest we've ever been. Though there are battles, there are fights, but to know that you have the Almighty's covering is one of the best things. You're basically at peace with yourself.
But you said something a while ago, though,
So,
about the gloominess and you know how the perception that we have that you know coming to him we're not gonna get to live that type of life where we can you know really show out and have that joy because how is it that you think it's because those who have it make it look unattractive, like those who have the salvation, those who you know fully surrender them life. You think it's because of how they make it look, while why people perceive that you know if I give up my life then probably I hate this, you know, I'm not gonna get to enjoy, I'm not gonna enjoy my life no more because you know you have to just fall in line and boy you're a soldier and you know you have to live a hard life and things.
mhm.
Is it you think that has a part to play?
It might, but the persons that the outsiders look at and they might be very happy, but they're because their lives aren't what you say. Their lives aren't out there like the rest of the world. You're going to say that they're boring. They're living a boring life, but their life might actually be very good. They're just not putting it out there. They don't have. They don't need the world to say yes, yes, good job. You're living a great life. No, it doesn't matter what the world thinks. What one? Why would we go? Why would we commit to something that will make us unhappy?
True.
We would not. We
Yeah,
would not.
true that.
And why would the Almighty want to put us in that position and say, all right, you have to live a unhappy life to come into my kingdom? No, well, no. I'm pretty sure that's not what he had in mind. Basically, he just wants us to live a holy, a good life, a comfortable life.
Yeah,
If you look at it,
it's true because
when you have salvation, it's so wonderful. I can't explain the feeling, but I think it's a different. It's like how you're happy when you're in a party, but it's like a whiter. It's like a whiter light, like a whiter happiness, a,
yeah,
a real happiness. I don't know how to explain it, but I don't think persons might look at them and say, yeah, they're living a boring life, but they're not necessarily living a boring life. They're living their lives how they want it to be, and they can't change the onlooker's mind because they're not trying to please them. They're not trying to
true.
please what society has to say about them. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. We live in a society now, right, where you know the main message is come as you are, right? Because that was what
Mhm.
Elohim Messiah preached on earth. Come as you are, right? We don't need to fix ourselves. He will fix us, right? But
Mhm.
if you notice, like even for our church, the rules, especially in regards to makeup and hair, falls hair and things like that, you know, it's different because in some churches, pe- persons don't necessarily have to give that up, right? They still can wear their makeup, you know, as they want. They still can wear their falls hair. as they would like, right? Them can clean them here as they want to and do all of that. While versus in our church, our assembly, you can't really do that. They would say, prefer you more natural, modest,
Yes.
and
Um,
even with the pants, some churches accept you can wear your pants as much as you want to, you can do those things as much as you want to, right? So I guess what I'm trying to get at is, how do we, especially for our assembly now, attract, with a message that, with our message that we're preaching, that come as you are, come natural. We would rather you to come natural, and yes, come. All right. First, come with your faults, your everything. But after you learn the way and things like that, no, and you want to baptize, you know that it's a different. You have a change of your lifestyle, everything. So how do we attract with our message when you have other churches who are out there and it's no matter to them? You can come baptize, do whatever thing you want, and you still get to wear your makeup. You still get to enjoy those worldly pleasures while in their assembly, but in ours you can't. So what would we do to make our message or our call appealing to persons who won't necessarily would want to give that up?
well, we won't have to do anything. The work is for the Almighty, actually, and we leave that to the
Mm-hmm.
Almighty and person receiving the message. But if the Almighty made you one way, He made you how He wants you. Why are you going to add to what He thinks is perfect for you? Why are you going to rearrange, remake yourself? Are you not comfortable with how the Almighty made you? Are you not comfortable with what the Almighty thinks of you? What how He wanted you to look? Do you think you're not pretty enough? Also, fearful and wonderfully made. We made different, but that's how the Almighty wanted us to look. He made us perfect. We're perfect in His eyes.
Yeah.
We look perfect
True.
in His eyes. So it's kind of, it's between the Almighty and them. If the Almighty opens up their eyes and make them realize what they're doing, then that's good. But we really can't do anything. We just have to ask the Almighty to remove the scales from in front of their eyes.
Okay, sis, get there. Get there.
Thank you.
Lachi, oh my gosh. I'm just listening to you and I'm just smiling, like, I'm like, oh, look at you're my sister, dog. You're my sister. Oh my goodness. Yes, but you're so right. That has to be for the Almighty, because I think we can preach the message as much as we want to, but at the end of the day, the real, for a person to be convicted, it's really up to the Almighty and them actually allowing, being open enough to allow Him to enter into our hearts to make that change. Because it's the love that you have for Him that allows you to make the change. It's not necessarily the church or the assembly that you choose to go to. It's just the love, that you have for Him and what attracts you, to the place in which He has called you. Because sometimes you go from place to place, you're searching, and a lot of people are out there still on the fence with one foot in, one foot out, still trying to make up their minds, still trying to say, all right, is this the right assembly for me? Some of them still trying to figure out if this is even the right place for them to worship. They want to worship the Almighty, but the church that they're probably going, may not, they may not feel as comfortable there are whatever the case may be. To be honest, there's so many factors, so that's
Yeah.
really just a job for the Almighty to do, and we just have to try to be ambassadors for Him,
Yes, we
to
do.
yeah, to show, to shine, because remember, before a person who probably don't know about Him comes in contact with Him, they first meet us, right? So we still have a part to play in terms of making sure that we're representing Messiah to the best
Mm-hmm.
of our ability, because that is our, that's our little role to play right there, because their interaction with us can really turn them from Him. As much as, a lot of people will say, oh, don't focus on the persons that are going to the church, you can't make, because of that, stop you from serving the Almighty, which is most definitely 100% true. But at the same time, if you're not welcoming, then they will have to leave and find welcome
Yeah.
elsewhere. So we have to make sure that when we say come
Yeah.
as you
No one
are,
wants to be somewhere.
exactly, nobody wants to be where they're not wanted. So
Yeah.
if we are saying come as you are, we can't say come as you are, and then when they come, where they're, judging them, bashing them because of how they might
Mm-hmm.
dress or how they might look, or things like that, because a lot of people focus on clothes and how they dress and things like that, than focusing on helping the person to come or draw closer to the Almighty. We can't, because we will find ourselves in the position of the Pharisees, right? Where if we're so focused on judging a person by their clothes and what they wear to church, or how they come looking for church, sometimes probably that's the most suitable clothes them probably having at them house, and them say no, because me I got church, me have to find the best outfit for wear, and probably that's their best, that's what they have,
Mm-hmm.
and Father never turned back a person. I've never read it in the Bible where Messiah was on earth and He turned a person away because of their attire, or because of how their hair is combed, or because they're probably wearing too much makeup, or things like that,
Mm-hmm.
so we can't be so fixated on that it takes away from a person or a soul being saved, and things like that can have people on the fence too, because when they realize that their church is like that, then it will be harder for them to make up their mind, and they still have one foot in and one foot out. But we have some
Yeah.
verses here also. These are verses that you would normally hear preaching. We have one from 1 John 2:15. It says, love not the world, neither the things of love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him.
And you have another one from St. Matthew 6,
Yeah.
verse 33. But seek ye first the kingdom of Elohim and all his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you.
Girl, that verse though. You see that verse? Nothing no more truer than that verse there. You hear?
No,
May I
we
tell
don't need
you?
to explain it.
It's like the verse explain itself basically.
Yes, it does.
And I am a testimony to that verse too, that if you put Father first, if you're just seeking first and just put you put yourself on the sideline sometimes for Him, I'm telling you, He will, him not go withhold nothing good from you. You see, anytime you find yourself wanting something or going after something and you realize you don't have it, don't look at it as because, oh, Father don't want me to have that, because a lot of times that's how I used to view things too. Oh, Father don't want me to have this, or maybe our Father just will. Father don't wants something good for you, He will not withhold it from you. And sometimes maybe the no way you get right now is for a bigger and better yes down the line, right? Or sometimes maybe it's just not the right season or the right time, and even that too can have a impact on people not making up their mind, because it's like they're putting Father on a test, right? Where they say they say, all right, if God do this for me, or if Yahweh do this for me, if Yahshua do this for me, then me can surrender my life to him. Then we come to him. After this happen, then we come to him. But we can't make that. Yeah, we can't make that be a criteria. We have to come to him first sometimes, and then that will happen first. Because sometimes we'll be out there and say, well, if this before me come, man, me come, so come. Because a lot of people, me so come, man. I just want to sort out myself first. I want to have this in place first before I come. And sometimes you will be out there for years upon years waiting for that thing to sort out and all no. But the minute you decide to surrender your life to him, the minute you put him first, you will find things falling into place in your life where you will say, wow, miracles, signs and wonders, I'm telling you. So, let's not make the world and its glitter and the glam, because everything in this world will fade away. But one thing won't fade away is your salvation. One thing won't leave you is Elohim. As a matter of fact, he's the only thing that won't leave you. He's the only person that won't leave you. He will always be with you. We'll have the verse in Romans where it tells us that nothing can separate us from his love. Nothing. So when friends, family, this world, things of the world, you lose your car, your worldly possessions, you will lose that everything. But him, his love, eternal.
So with that being said, I hope all the persons listening that have one foot in the world and in the church and one foot out, I hope you were encouraged by this, and just pray. I hope we made it a lot easier for you.
We really hope that you enjoyed this discussion, and let us know in the comments if you have any topics that you'd want us to talk about, and let us know if this encouraged you in any way or form. And don't forget to like,
subscribe, so you don't miss out on anything.
Exactly. Click that bell and share with a friend, and tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend.
Yeah.
Yes. Until next time. Bye. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Action. I was getting in there a while ago. Alright, I'm serious now. True.